Hey everyone, in this clip from Ashtanga Decoded, we're breaking down Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, the Revolved Side Angle Pose. I'll take you through the key alignment points, how to approach the twist safely, and what to focus on to go deeper in your practice. If you enjoy learning like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified whenever I post new videos. Enjoy! Parivrtta Parsvakonasana is the same principles, but it's a very difficult posture. So we need to really break it down into a few steps. So I like to, if I break it down, I can do it from a kneeling position like this. And then first stage is to bring that elbow on the outside of the knee. You could also work actively, so not using the hand like this, but actively twisting like this, and then using the hand. So active twist, then use the hand and get that elbow on the outside of the knee. From there, the next stage is to try to get the shoulder armpit on the outside of the knee. And at a certain point, what you need to start doing when you twist like this is really drawing the ribs in like this. So I'll show you what I mean from the side. So as I twist, I have to round the back and get that elbow on the outside of the knee. So I come in and round the back and get that armpit on the outside of the knee. So this would be the first position, hands in prayer. If possible, then you would straighten the arms. And we can either bring the hand next to the ear, open up the chest, take the arm straight up, externally rotate. So not internal rotation, but external rotation. And then take the arm past the ear. Okay, some people, like the other posture, Parsvakonasana, can do it with internal rotation, and that feels fine. But for most people, external rotation is going to feel better. Okay, and then we use that same idea of depression of the shoulder to get that hand flat, perhaps, to the floor. Okay, so then we can use those same arm progressions with the knee lifting off the floor. So we lift the knee off the floor, and we either stay here or we open the chest up to the ceiling, straighten the arm, externally rotate, and then take the arm past the face. And then from here we bring the chin in, rotate up, and then stretch the throat, look to the hand. Okay? So this is one variation. The beauty of this variation is it keeps the hips nice and square, so you can focus the rotation through the upper back. Let's do the other side, and then we'll show the final variation with the foot flat to the floor. Okay, so active rotation, and press the knee across. So again, we want to think about rounding the back, ribs in, create that space, and then close the gap. Okay, so this is going to be the big theme later when we go into the twists in the primary series, is closing the gap between the armpit and the knee. So we close the gap, then we're either hands in prayer or hand to the floor. And then we open up the chest, externally rotate, bring the arm past the face. Okay, from the side, so we close the gap, open it up, external rotation, and then you can do that same progression with the knees straight. And if you want, play around with internal and external rotation. As you come into the pose, you can also get a very nice back bending stretch. So I'll show you what I mean. So for example, if I was coming in from this direction, bring the arm up before I go into the position. If I straighten this leg, I can feel a stretch through that front line all the way up, and then through the arm right up through the little finger. Okay, so you can do the same thing here. So straighten that leg, get a nice stretch through that whole front line, then up. So you get a nice back bend, and then go into the twist. Okay, so traditionally the back heel is not lifted, but the heel is down, and this really changes the whole dynamic of the pose and kind of makes it very difficult to keep things nice and with straight lines. Okay, so what ends up happening, as I described before, like in Virabhadrasana, in warrior pose, as soon as you turn that back foot down to the floor, it changes the position of the pelvis. So then when you go to twist, you're not going to be able to go into that same position. You're not going to be able to go down as much unless you have really, really flexible ankles, okay? So it's going to end up looking a little bit crooked. The thing is though, sometimes it's good to put your body into a strange position and then just be able to learn to breathe and accept that that's how it is. And funnily enough, if we go further into the series and we look at a posture like Parivrtta D, for example, then what ends up happening is exactly that. It's impossible, or almost impossible, to do Parivrtta D with everything very orderly and straight. There has to be some twists and turns, and you have to kind of put your body in an awkward position to do it. So that's what you're learning here. As you go into this position with the heel down, but you're going to use the same principles. And just a little tip that you could use is, instead of keeping that foot straight, if you turn that foot in on an angle, then as you push that knee across, there's still going to be a bit of a connection between the sitting bone and the heel here. And you want to make that space, close the gap. Okay, let's just do the other side just to make sure it's even. So as you turn that back foot out, and that's the other thing. So the ankles are going to play such a big role here, especially the way it looks. Some people will be able to keep that back foot, nice little toe side really flat. Other people won't be able to do that. The back foot's going to look a bit more everted like this. Okay, and then some people who are blessed with great ankle mobility would be able to do it with the foot really flat and get a lot of rotation through the hip. Okay, so let's do the other side. So turning that foot in so that the knee is going the same direction as the foot, and then try to close the gap. Remember, the ribs go in as you close the gap. And just remember that it may not look perfect, but that's okay. You're just learning to be okay with it not being perfect and learning to stay calm and relaxed. And this is the way yoga works, actually. When things are not perfect and things are a bit uncomfortable, learning to stay calm and relaxed and be able to breathe through it. Okay, so thank you. That's it for today. We're going to go put all this into practice in the traditional class coming up next. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of Parivrtta Parsvakonasana and found it useful for your own practice. If you'd like to go deeper, explore my full library of classes, techniques and workshops inside Ashtanga Decoded, you can join through the link in the description below.